So this video um, is for um, a follower of the YouTube channel, and I appreciate the fact that you watch all the videos. Um, I really do. Like I talk about it all the time. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate your questions. So I'm taking my time out to answer you directly on the channel. Um, so the question that you asked is, why do you feel the need to carry a gun everywhere you go? And I had actually sent a reply to you much earlier, but when Holly tried to send it, it it was too large. So um, I have so many ways to answer this um, that I wasn't exactly sure which route I wanted to go because there's so many. Um, and I'm answering the question um, in a certain way, understanding that the question is very genuine. Um, I could say something quick like, my I think my reply was because a cop can't fit in my pocket, right? Um, but I can understand that someone who if this is not your lifestyle, you look and go, why would somebody want to carry a gun every single day? Let me start here. Number one, I would ask, why wouldn't someone carry a form of protection with them every day? But number one, there's no negative, right? Meaning, me carrying a gun every day, there's no negative to that, right? What is the negative to me carrying a gun every day? It like it's funny, but some people almost think like if you have a gun, then you must like you're going to like trouble's going to you're going to be a magnet for trouble, or you carry a gun, bad stuff's just going to come or something, right? Um, and I actually, even though that thought process is not, um, it's not realistic, it's not accurate, I understand it because when I was 18 or 19, I was fresh out of high school basically, and I was 19, and a buddy of mine had just turned 21. Now, I grew up with guns. I had a rifle, all that stuff. But as far as handguns and carrying them, that was not normal for me. And so my buddy had just turned 21 and he went and bought a gun. And so we caught the bus out to where he lived. And as he was walking out, he opened up his backpack and I seen a gun in there. And I got nervous, right? I'm 19, he's 21. But number one, I wasn't aware of the legalities of what he was doing, right? I didn't know if it was legal that he could carry a gun. I just wasn't aware then of handgun laws and rules. And so I was like, man, why you got a gun? And he was like, what you mean why I got a gun? And I kind of checked myself because I grew up with guns. So I'm like, well, I know why you got a gun. I get it. But then as we went about, like as we started walking toward the bus stop, there was like an actual feeling. I had this feeling like, man, like as if bad stuff is going to happen now because we have a gun. It's it's not a fair judgment. It doesn't even make sense to think like that. But I understand how you can think like that because I did it. Like I was like, man, I really felt like I was nervous. Something bad was going to happen that day because we had a gun with us. I thought bad things happen when there is a gun around, a handgun. I just wasn't used to that. But again, I had to check myself because I'm like, well, wait a minute. I got a gun, I got a rifle at home. Does trouble come to my home? Right? They just did not make any sense. Um, so I just want to come from that. I just want to let you know that I understand the you know kind of like that way of thinking. Why would you want to carry a gun every day? And then some people's thought might be like there's a danger to carrying a gun, right? People think there's a danger to carrying a gun. So that's why my point is, what is the negative for me carrying a gun? Now you can think about it and you can get back to me or leave a comment below, or you can just send the message to Holly, and then we'll talk about it. But there is no negative for me carrying a gun. There is absolutely no negative for me having a gun on my person. There is a positive, however. There's no negative, there's absolutely a positive. So if you go back through my videos, it kind of answers itself. Cancer tried to kill me. You're aware of that. But on one, two, three other occasions, if I didn't have a gun on me, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have made it to even getting cancer. Having a gun on my person saved my life 3 times. So every single day I go about life, I have a gun on me. No negativity ever comes to me or your daughter. The only thing that can happen is if somebody tries to harm her. If you watch the news, fact is, mass shooters exist. There's mass shooters out there. There's crazy people out there. There's maniacs, and I've come across them. And because I had a gun, I was able to survive it. Knowing that these maniacs are out there, my question would be a reverse. How can you not have some form of protection? There's crazies out there, there's maniacs out there, right? There's sickos out there. Um, there's a TV show called I Survived, and if you ever get the chance, watch that. Um, Even if just one season, one episode. In just one episode, you can come to the thought of, if that person only had a gun. If that person had a gun, that situation they were in would have been handled a long time ago. Um, and so it's joking. It sounds like a joke, but it's really not. When I say I can't fit a cop in my pocket, right? If something happens, calling 911, the police take time to get there. If somebody wants to kill you within 15 seconds, is you calling the police? Is the police going to be able to get there in time to save you? Absolutely not. The police will tell you, Have something to protect yourself because it takes time for us to get there. Police are essentially there to clean up the after effect. So, um, my father was in a self defense, was involved in a self defense shooting. He had to use his firearm to protect his entire family, children, sister, mom, dad, girlfriend, child, the whole nine. He had no other choice but to shoot this man who was high on drugs, threatening with a rifle, was beating on people in the home, um, and some more bad stuff. And my father was on the phone with the police with the gun in his hand. The police couldn't get there in time. The guy attacked my father. My father shot him in self defense. So, having a firearm is a no brainer necessity in my world. Now, if somebody doesn't want to have any form of protection, I don't think they're wrong, right? That's everyone has their own prerogative, and um, you know, you do what you want to do. You know, if you feel like you'll never need a gun in your life, then we all have our own reasons for doing or not doing whatever. Um, but as the old saying goes, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. The consequence for having it, there isn't one. The consequence for not having it can mean your life. That's the reason. There's a huge shift there. This one holds all the weight, and this holds none. There's no negative to me having a gun. There is a negative to not having a gun. If right, most people go their entire life without having to protect themselves. But if that time comes, because it happens every single day, people are murdered, not just with guns, knives, fists, um, poison. Okay, so it happens every day. It's not a secret. So, and here's another fact. This is a real fact. Survey was done to find out how many. So let me give you these numbers straight across. There are roughly 35,000 um, firearm related deaths each year. 30,000 firearm related deaths each year in this country. 2/3 of those are suicide. If you want to commit suicide, you're going to commit suicide. You don't need a gun to do that. So you remove that, then it goes down to 12,000. 12,000 people per year die from violent firearm violence. Um, and then even those, a lot of those are like gangs on gangs and crime on crime. Um, but still, about 12,000 a year die from firearms, violent crimes with firearms. However, over 2.5 million people use a firearm to protect themselves or stay alive from a violent attacker every year in this country. That is a huge shift there, right? That's the weight goes dramatically to those who are in need, right? So 2.5 million successfully use a gun to protect themselves from violent crime. 11,000 die from violent crime. Some of those 11,000 are in the 2.5 million because some of those 11,000 are not like a bad guy murders a good guy, because in those numbers, that 11,000 is, that just says 11,000 people die from firearms. But if you are breaking in my house, if somebody breaks in this house and tries to kill and rape your daughter, I'm going to take my gun and I'm going to kill that person before they get to her, right? They got to get through me first. So I'm going to die. They got to get through me first, right? So somebody breaks in here to get her, they're dying. They're not going to get to her. And that's going to go towards one of the 12,000 deaths from a firearm each year. But that's not a negative thing. That is an evil person trying to do harm on good people. And now I have used a gun in self defense to stop that person from destroying my better half. Right? So let me try and sum this up. Why do you carry a gun every day? Why do you feel the need to carry a gun every day? Because crazy people exist in this world. I've needed it 3 times to save my life, minimum, that I'm willing to talk about. 3 times to save my life. And I'm here. If I didn't have a gun, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be gone, period. If you want to look at the stories, look up on my channel, on the Whammy Gunslinger channel. It's called the AM/PM Setup. That's one. The other one was The Strange White Truck. Those are 2 stories where if I didn't have my firearm, I was a goner. Um, and so um, I carry a gun because crazy people exist in this world. If they didn't, we wouldn't need police. If people weren't so crazy that you need a gun, police wouldn't have guns. However, police do have guns because it is a necessity when you are dealing with the public. And I'm not a cop and I don't go to people's house to try to solve problems. But as I go about my day and live my life, it is very possible, dealing with other humans, that you will come across the same crazy person that a cop can come across, where that cop may need to use his firearm. And it's happened so many times. Um, the listen to me, this is a fact. The only, only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. So the fact that I know there's criminals out there with guns, why wouldn't I carry a gun with me every single day? There's bad guys out there with guns on them every single day. The bad guys, their head ain't screwed on tight. They're psycho. They like going to prison, right? They don't think right. If that guy has a gun, I need it. I need a gun. There's 100% no negative for having a gun on me. It doesn't attract bad stuff. You know what I mean? It doesn't attract evil things or nothing like that. That's not realistic. It is a tool. It is a tool, and that is it. And if I were to, um, you know, take a gun apart and just show you this thing, It would make a lot more sense, because a lot of people think a gun is like a bomb, like when you put it in your hand, it's going to just ignite, go off. It doesn't work like that. No more than getting in a car, the car is just going to floor it and do 120 miles an hour as soon as you get inside the car. Now, in order for a car to work, you have to turn the engine on, you have to put it into gear, and you have to touch the accelerator to go back or forth, and you control how fast or slow it goes. It's the same thing with the firearm. You are in 100% control. A gun cannot just go off by itself for no reason. You are in complete control of that. So that's that. There was one other part. She told me something was said about um, someone can have a gun in their pocket and shoot from through their coat. Yeah, they can. That's more the reason to have a gun. Um, there are there are there are people who can do that, and I experienced that. So the AMPM setup. That's exactly what happened there. This guy had a gun in his hoodie. He was looking to rob the store. My friend who was in the store. It's a crazy story, but look it up. The AMPM setup. If you want me to send you a link, let me know. But the guy came at me, or he seen me looking at him, so he realized that I could see that he was looking to rob the store. When he seen that I noticed it, he came after me. And as soon as he started walking towards me, he started pulling out a gun from out his hoodie. But before he could do it, I drew my gun and I racked it. And he stopped because he heard the chick. And he said, "Are you strapped?" And I said, "You damn right I'm strapped." And then I started giving verbal commands. I'm like, "Listen, I don't know you, but you just walked at me. I don't know what's in your pocket. Do not take your hands out of your pocket at all. Keep your hands in your pocket. If you pull your arms out of your hoodie, I'm going to shoot you. Stay right there. Do not move." And a whole bunch of crazy other stuff happened after that, and it just got more and more crazy. So I've experienced that. Yeah, someone can have a gun in their coat. That it doesn't mean they have the up on me, but it can. If he wanted to, he could have shot through his hoodie. However, your accuracy goes down dramatically. So if someone wants to try and instead of drawing out of their holster, they want to shoot through their coat. Cool. I'm drawing from my holster because I have a much better accuracy when I take that gun out and shoot than I would shooting through coat, because a bullet, when it goes through cloth, when it goes through anything, it can throw the round off. If it was headed straight and it goes through a shirt or anything, it can throw it off to the left, to dip it down, or go up. I mean, it can do anything. It throws off the accuracy. Um, that's why in the world of hunting, there's what's called brush guns. And a brush gun is a gun that shoots a bullet that's really heavy and wide, so that when you shoot through branches and leaves, the bullet doesn't get thrown off par. It still hits its target. So if you hunt in real thick area, then you want a brush gun. But if you hunt where it's long distance and wide open, then you use a regular gun that's really accurate, thin, straight, that kind of a thing. A very aerodynamic bullet. And it's the same thing. Shooting through your coat, you're going to throw off the accuracy, period. I'd rather him shoot through his jacket than pull out and shoot at me. Because if he shoots through his jacket, I have a fighting chance that bullet may not hit me. Or if he's aiming for my heart, that he hits my shoulder instead. Right? So as soon as I see a movement, for instances, if I see if his hands in here and I see this, I'm going to fire, and if he's firing through his jacket again, he's likely to not have the best accurate shot. Now, it also could be a very accurate shot and it can kill me. Having a gun does not mean that I'm impossible to die. Like there's no way I can die because I have a gun. That's not realistic, right? Even in the military, if you're in the military and you go to war just because you have a gun doesn't mean that you're going to live no matter what, because the other person has a gun too. However, you don't want to go to war with nothing. You don't want to go to war with no gun. You want to go to war with a gun. I have a gun on me because there's sickos out there. And if they try to attack me or my loved ones, I'm going to defend me or my loved ones with that firearm if the situation causes for that. I can use my hands too. If it's a situation where I just need to slap somebody to sleep, okay, I'll do that. But if it's a situation where someone's trying to kill me, my girlfriend, my daughter, my mom, my dad, if they're trying to kill us, I'm gonna kill them. I don't want no trouble, and trouble don't want me. And that's that. Dedicated to you directly. And if you have any more questions, let me know. And when I say thank you for um, being my like regular, fan and watch the videos, that means a whole lot to me, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much. And if you have any more questions, let me know. Whammy out.